Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about Blood DK DPS BiS list for both Phase 2 and Phase 3. I didn't get a chance to go around to the Phase 2 BiS list originally, and because of all the momentum that's building up around Blood DK, we had to drop one for Phase 2. On top of that, because everyone's looking forward to Phase 3, I have a Phase 3 BiS list for you here today, so we have tons of information for the people out there. So strap in, get ready. We are ready to blast. First things first with all these videos is we're going to take a look at the talents. These are the talents you're using for both Phase 2 and Phase 3. There shouldn't be any changes to these talents whatsoever. They're pretty straightforward, and these are the glyphs that you want to run pretty much every time. Now, let's look at the BiS list. First things first, if you are using the links down below and checking out these BiS lists, please do not look too closely into the EPs. These are not, as you can see, it says for Unholy DPS. Ignore those entirely and only focus on what is actually in front of you. As you can see, we are running with the 4-piece, Tier 8. 4-piece is really solid on Blood DK, and it's going to work out really great. As you can see, this BiS list is already pretty similar to your Frost DK BiS list, so keep that in mind in case you want to swap back and forth between the two. It'd be a really easy swap. We run 4-piece. We got the Frigid Strength of Hodier coming off of Hodier. We got the 10-man General Vezek's Cloak. We got the Risk coming off of Memoron. We got Bold coming off of 25-man General Vezek's Hard Mode. We got the Belt coming off of Iron Council Hard Mode, 25-man, the one with hit. We have the Flame Leviathan Legs, 252. These are really solid and really contested. We got the Algalon Boots. We got the Ring coming off of Yogg, 25-man Hard Mode. We got the Brand Signet Ring coming off of Algalon. We got Mjolnir and Comet. One thing you want to keep in mind about Comet is Comet versus Greatness is actually extremely close. So close that Comet is basically only simming out to be about a 10 DPS increase, which means you probably shouldn't even bother. If you happen to get one and you're just that rich or that spoiled in your guild, take it, love it, enjoy it. Otherwise, just run Greatness and Mjolnir. And of course, for the sigil, we are using the new sigil of this phase, the one that comes off of XT. Now let's jump into the Phase 3 BiS list. Oh yeah, and as you can see, Troll is going to be the absolute most DPS possible you can get out of Blood DK DPS. Now the same thing for Phase 3 as we are running the 4-piece T9. This 4-piece T9 is absolutely absurd. DKs, especially Unholy DKs, are always going to be funneled first for this 4-piece Tier 9 because it is so strong. Likewise, it is strong enough for a Blood DK to use because that 4-piece is just absolutely absurd. On top of that, the 2-piece is actually really solid as well for us, so we do really like having both of those. In terms of gymming, you can already see a couple differences in the gymming from Phase 2 to Phase 3. We're going to switch to the Relentless in the meta, and we are switching to now matching socket bonuses for yellow, where it makes sense with Inscribed so that we can get Strength Crit. On top of that, our neck that we are going to be using is the 258 neck coming off of Twin Valks. We got Tier 2 here. We got the Cloak. We're looking for the Agility Armor Pin Cloak coming off of a Nubarak. So good luck with this one. This one is going to be extremely contested. If you happen to have a surplus of the Strength Cloaks, the Strength Cloak is really good. It just has extra hit on it that you don't necessarily need from your gear anymore as we're obtaining hit in other places. So up to you. Definitely try to find a place to optimize that as much as possible, but this is definitely your best cloak. Your best chest is going to be Chestplate of the Frostwolf Hero. Now, this should be uncontested, as other people should be wanting to use tier in this slot. However, that remains to be seen, as not all the BiS lists are complete for all the other classes. I could be wrong in making that claim. However, this is going to be an extremely good chest for you to use, especially with all that hit, getting good value out of your hit there. Now, your best risk are either this wrist, or you could use, in theory, the Arm Plates of the Netherlord, the same 245 eye level coming off of Lord Jirax's actually 10-man version. Either one is totally fine. What's nice about the Titanium Spike Guards is they are BOE. They're crafted from blacksmiths, so they're going to be really easy to obtain rather than trying to get one to drop off of 10-man. However, if you get the one from 10-man, then you don't need to get the one that's crafted. Either way is totally fine. The difference in stats and the difference in sim is it's insanely close. It genuinely doesn't matter which one you pick between these two. Your best weapon is definitely going to be the Dual Blade Butcher. This is the two-hand axe coming off of 25-man faction champs. This is a very contested two-hander, as it is BiS for basically every single two-hand person in the game. We got our tier gloves here. We're using the Crit Expertise belt coming off of 25 man, so definitely want to keep a lookout for that. It's not a very high priority item for us, but it is our BiS. We're going to use tier legs here, and we're going to stick with the Sabatons of Lifeless Knight, the 25 man Algalon boots. A very, very small prio item for us is going to be this 10 man ARP haste ring. You definitely want to get it, but it's not a huge deal. As long as you have the 252 item level Yogg ring with hit on it, then that's going to be a really good one for you to last for a really long time. Then this 258 crit haste ring coming from 25 man TOGC is going to be your best ring. And then the only other thing that changes from your trinkets is going to be your swapping in Death's Choice. And then between Mjolnir, Runestone, and Comet, you actually are very close between the two of them. You can either go either way between Mjolnir and Comet. However, Mjolnir is typically going to sim out to be roughly 20 DPS better in most scenarios. However, there are some cases where if you potentially swapped in the armbands of Bedlam from the 252 wrist from Memoron hard mode, and then you swap in Comet, potentially that setup would sim maybe 30 DPS better than this setup that we're looking at, but it's very, very, very minor and very much up for debate. And then the only other thing is the new sigil in this phase. The Sigil of Virulence is going to be a really good sigil for Blood DK DPS. And that's basically it. That ends you up with 24 expertise. We're only a couple hit over our hit cap, and we are looking nice and juicy. This is going to sim out to be about 11.4k DPS on single target, and it's a phenomenal setup. Now, best of luck to you guys out there. If you need any support in the Blood DK DPS department, I will leave a link to the Worms Discord where you can join, find information on BiS lists, stat prio, general rotation guides, and everything that you possibly need on Blood DK DPS will be found in that Discord. If you have any questions as to why we're doing this at all, I'll leave a link to Sarth's video where he talks about Blood DK DPS and why it can be the best single target DPS spec for DKs of all specs in ICC with Shadowmourne. It's pretty insane. So there's a lot that needs to be done with Blood DK DPS. Stay tuned, hop on the train, and enjoy.